Okay, I finally found the file I was looking for. It took me like, whenever you're trying to find things that are pro Manson and against Esme or Evan, it takes you forever. And I didn't want to read Billboard and Rolling Stones or People Magazine or whatever I wanted to find, and the this case is a good one. It's not tedious and it's good news. So I love reading court files for some reason. And I feel like this is good news. It's not like sitting here for 6 months or probably 5 months reading over and over all these lies and the slander and all the bullshit. Finally, I can just sit here and read something good. As you all know, Manson and Howard King, his attorney, filed in July, but it hasn't been done until August 27th, which is just passed. Motion to dismiss Esme Bianco and her accusations of sexual crimes and emotional abuse and physical abuse and R word and all that. So not even going to court with her, just dismiss, which I think is just it sends a message, and it sends a message to all the other ones part of the coven, because if she gets dismissed, like I said before in another video, they're all gonna look awful. And the Jane Doe Chloe Black person already got dismissed, so that looks really bad. But if Esme Bianco gets dismissed, it's a bigger deal, because she is one of the people that were there drafting and signing the Phoenix Act. So it's a big deal. So I found it, believe it or not, TMZ. Thank you so much again. TMZ is weird because they have like the silliest freaking videos and paparazzi videos and all that nonsense, but at the same time, they've been saving our butts. the us people on YouTube that are trying to figure things out, because if you go on TMZ and you search for Manson, you're gonna see videos of Manson and his wife Lindsay walking around Hollywood in November 2010, the same time that Ashley Morgan said that she was with him and didn't leave the apartment for Thanksgiving 2010. So things like that, TMZ is gonna like go to court and probably solve this whole mess. So thank you, TMZ, for being there for all of us. They're awful. They're awful people, and they're responsible for a lot of abuse that Britney Spears is having. For example, that whole thing started with TMZ. But in this case, because cameras don't lie, so if you're just shooting a video of the guy walking around and it has a date and a time, then we could just look at it, go back and just look at it and be like, oh, that was bullshit. So not only that, they've been doing good with their videos, and also they've been posting the court filings, which a lot of people don't do because they do not want you to read this. People's Magazine, Variety, New York Times, LA Times, all those people, they're, even the music publications like Metal Hammer, Metal Injection, all those people, Rolling Stones, they don't want you to read the files. They want you to just believe what is there, what they're telling you to believe, and just a few words, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool, she got dismissed, okay, cool, all right, no, but I still think he's an abuser. They want you to keep thinking that he is what they're telling us that he is. That's why they don't put the court documents, because if you read the court documents, you don't have to be a genius. Certainly I'm not. You can see the biggest picture of the biggest BS. I'm not happy with just reading headlines anymore. This case got me into, a lot of people got into this because of Johnny and Amber, and in my case it's because of this case, which is not even a case, because there's no future court hearing, so it's not a case, but it's a filing, and it got me really interested in reading, the nugget of it, not just staying with the headlines are saying pro Manson or against Manson. I'm not gonna just stay with the headlines and be like, oh, you're right, that's not what I'm gonna do. So I'm happy that you can find this online, and I'm gonna fix my face, make some tea, and I'll be right back. I will be. Okay, so to kind of go, I'm gonna do this at the same time. I know I've done this before, but I'm saving time this way. I hope you don't mind. To kind of just refresh everything. What she said, what she did, what she posted. She posted on Instagram right after Evan posted, okay? February 1st or February 2nd, I don't remember, of 2021. She was naming him and blah 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 blah. After that, she was quiet for a while, but then in March, she posted a famous picture of her back allegedly whipped by him. So, and then she posted a picture of her crying, with a little story in the caption about how when she was with him in 2011, she showed the world that she was very happy, but she wasn't, such and such and such. Then around that time, she posted a picture of pills. You can just get any, you can get that from Pinterest, but even if you have pills at home, any type of pills that come in orange bottles from the pharmacy, it can be antibiotics, it can be freaking vitamins, I don't know. She posted a picture of those, and it totally looks so staged. It was embarrassing. It looks so staged. So those are kind of her posts. She posts definitely way less than Evan, and not such an embarrassing story posting like Evan does. That doesn't make her any better. She's still a weirdo, and she's still pretty much a criminal. I am gonna start calling these people by their name. They're criminals, because conspiracy is a crime. So anyway, so to refresh that, on her post, she said that she was human trafficked, electrocuted, caught with a Nazi knife, are every type of sexual crime you can imagine, and every type of emotional abuse you can imagine. Not only that, but she was human trafficked from the UK to Los Angeles to work in this video that she thinks that he made the whole idea up just to abuse her, which is not true, because he's been talking about that video for a while with a lot of people before she was even a thing in his life. So the video was a thing. She was trying to discredit him and make it sound like this big bad wolf that takes her away from her country and her husband and brings her here. Reality, she bought her own ticket. She left her husband in the UK. I don't know if maybe the husband was a dick. Maybe the husband deserved it. I don't know the details of the husband, Mr. Bianco or whatever. But I have a feeling that she just freaking left. You know. So she made this whole thing that it sounds very much like a friendship, a very normal Hollywood friendship. Like, hey, I like your work. Why don't you just come over and let's do some stuff. Oh, but you live so far. All right, don't worry. Just come over. You can stay with me, or I put you in this hotel. That is just normal, and that's, I think, is the way it happened. I'm not the only person that thinks that. But her dirty mind and her conspiracy mind wants to, make shit up and wants to make you believe, in all of us, that this whole thing didn't happen the way I just said it, but it was a very dirty and violent and Machiavellic and just morbid situation. Okay, so I'm just doing this really quick because we know Esme. I read Esme's report 100 times in all the channels on YouTube had, and it's very tedious. Not as tedious of the Ashley Morgan. I don't think nobody's more tedious than Ashley Morgan. But I read it, and no need to read it again, okay? It's all kind of old news. I'm going to jump to the good new news. But for anybody that does not know, that's what she accused him of, okay? So, human trafficking, sexual crimes, emotional abuse. Also, the one that I think is hilarious is the unpaid labor, which pretty much is what she said, because he was kind of a slob and messy, and she was picking up around the house and making food for him once in a while. So, kind of like a girlfriend or a boyfriend does when they're with you. But this is what she calls unpaid labor. So there's a bunch. There's way more with her than with the other ones, because she's adding the traffic into it. So there's more accusations with her, which is not a problem, because we are going to dismiss all of them one by one. Right? Yeah, right. It's happening. So I'm like really happy about it. At the same time, I feel like, when you feel like this, the calm before the storm type of thing. God, it looks so, this is my real skin color, and this is like pink. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm saying I'm sorry to you, but I don't know what happened. Anyway, when you feel like it's too good to be true? And that's kind of how I feel right now about this Manson situation with these women. I feel like, somebody's about to come up with something new, because after he was there with Kanye West, respect, male respect to Kanye, and dismissed Jane Doe, Chloe Black case, and trying to dismiss Esme, which is going to be dismissed. But he's trying, which is a big step, and just having his face out there with his Hollywood makeup on and whatever, it's looking very positive to him. And we know that these brats, especially Esme and Evan, are gonna throw a fit. Evan already has thrown a fit when she went to what you might call it. She went to a bar, because that was a freaking bar on Saturday night, right after Manson was with Kanye West on Thursday night. Evan went to a bar and did the whole thing and covered that song, You Get What You Give, and say Marilyn Manson. At the point of the song when she said Marilyn Manson, she was beaming and smiling and did this with her face, her hand. Her face was smiling. She was not in panic or in pain or sad or traumatized. She didn't look traumatized to me. I know that sometimes you could be traumatized and you can just put in a good face. If that was my abuser's name, I wouldn't be saying that out loud with a smile on my face. I will try to avoid songs that have his name on it. If she was trying to make a point, the point that it come across, I think she looked like a clown, period. Yeah, even more than before. Okay, so face is done, I think. So I'm just gonna keep reading. I'm gonna start reading. So that was it. 11 minutes of just kind of touching on what she said, what he said. He doesn't deny having relationships, but he said that always being consensual and with like-minded individuals, right? That was what he said back in the day. So between then and now, we had a bunch of people popping. Ashley Morgan, Ashley Walters, Lainey Chantel, whatever her name is, Chloe Black, a bunch of people popping, but they're all popping because of Esme and Evan. So if we dismiss this, the Esme Bianco filing, then automatically everybody's gonna look like shit. So, which is really dumb. Like, if you're going to just go on somebody and you're going to, let's say you're not lying, you wanna go on somebody that hurt you, and you wanna go take them to court, whatever. Don't make alias. Don't be in a gang with a bunch of other people, because chances are, if one of them is wrong, then you're gonna look bad. You're gonna look like a liar if one of them looks like a liar. So why don't you just do things by yourself? Obviously, the answer of what I said is because they knew they were lying, so they had to be in a group. But if you do this and you for real want some help, and you feel like you've been harassed and you want it to be over, and you want to have this guy or this woman in jail because you're being abused, you don't go in gang and just do it like a little, it's like that TV show Gossip Girl or something, just go by yourself, do it by you and your lawyer, or you and your social worker, you and your therapist, whoever, and fight it by yourself if you have evidence. If you don't have evidence and you need to just get your girlfriends to help you, whatever, it's obviously you have not. Obviously you're full of shit. So that's what I think the first mistake was, for them to kind of make a little Cohen gang that they were making, a bunch of gossiping cheerleaders, I call it. Besides witches or whatever, that's an insult. That's insulting to real witches. So whatever, if you're gonna believe, I do. So let's just say, Gossip Girl, that TV show that I'm old enough to remember. Not the new version, the old version. So thank you very much. So there's a bunch of things in the first 4 pages about the civil code and the numbers of the codes, and we don't need to go on that. All right, item 1. This again is the motion to dismiss Esme. Okay, defendant Brian Warner denies each and every claim made by Esme Bianco, plaintiff. Bianco claims are untrue, meritless, and a key component of a coordinated attack by multiple women who are cynically, love that word, cynically and dishonestly seeking to monetize and exploit the Me Too movement. Boom. This is not YouTube saying it. This is not me, Cornell Kurtz, and Celtic Iron saying it. Which awesome. No, this is like his lawyer, Howard King, which it is. It's almost like we're hearing his words, even if it's not him talking. Those words probably came from his mouth. Both of them are awesome. Manson and his attorney, good team. Those are his words. So besides all the things that the intuition or the bad blood that we can have against Esme or Evan or whatever, and we've all been talking about this for months and months. It's awesome to be able to say these words and coming from a court filing and not just me saying or somebody else saying it. I don't know. I freaking love it, and I'm sure that everybody is as happy. The people that I mentioned, Celtic Iron and Cornell Kurtz, I mean, they're blooming. We should all have a party, like I don't know what. Well, I know Celtic is right here in LA, but I don't know where she is at. But it would be cool to have like a Zoom meeting or something that we all like celebrating and have like, party hats and stuff, or like cat ears or horns, and celebrate. I know it's not over, but I think it's a good step going forward. So everybody should celebrate whatever you are. Celebrate. And also share the words and share the truth and tell people that, if they're going to do something, they should just do it by themselves and not gang with a bunch of other people, because they're going to look like liars. And do your research and get a restraining order before you start doing this to people. A restraining order is not going to be on somebody's, it's not going to be on anybody's, I know because I done it. It's not going to be on anybody's record for more than 3 or 5 years. So you're not destroying their life. If you want somebody to leave you alone, get a restraining order. Boom. Okay. But this is a bit much, and conspiracy again. So I'm going to stop talking and just let him talk. Again, cynically and dishonestly seeking to monetize and exploit the Me Too movement. These individuals, including Esme, has spent months planning, workshopping, and fine-tuning their stories to turn that were consensual friendships and relationship with Warner from more than a decade ago into twisted tales that bear no resemblance to reality. Without a shred of evidence, so no evidence. Shred means no evidence. To support their claims, plaintiff and her co-conspirators are desperately trying to conflate the imagery and artistic behavior of Warner's shock rock stage persona, Marilyn Manson, which fabricated accounts of abuse through the years. Yeah, and it's not the first time that somebody's trying to bank on his persona, right? Remember Columbine? We remember Columbine. So, pretty much what he's saying is pretty self-explanatory, right? Yeah, conspiracy. Plaintiff has attempted to improperly manipulate the legal system by filing these clearly time-barred claims in hope of spreading lies about Warner under the protection of the litigation privilege. Because pretty much in America, this is not a California thing, this is in the United States, around the world too. But mostly here, we got this thing called freedom, right? Which is cool. It's awesome. I love it. But also it comes with this type of situations. You could just go and just and go to court and just tell the most horrible lies about people. And the thing is, like, if you're a woman and if you are a woman of certain age, you are going to be believed at face value. I think it's wrong, but also I know why they do it this way. I think the only people that should be believed at face value 100% are children. And then you investigate. And I know children can lie too, but they usually don't. So everybody else should not be believed at face value. And this whole like innocent until proven guilty, where in the States lately, for the last 20 years or so, there's been a lot of cases of people going to court and filing things on people. And I'm not talking about Johnny and Amber, I'm talking about people that are non-famous, okay? And it's been a lot of cases like, oh, I don't like the person that gave me the coffee at Starbucks and I feel harassed, I'm not going to go. Onision from the internet going to court with some other dude from the internet because he felt that he was being cyber-stalked. There's so much BS and it's very easy to go and file things. So that comes with the whole freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of defending yourself, freedom of expressing yourself, freedom of defend your human rights. So it's cool, like it's awesome, it's a good thing, but then it comes with a lot of this. So it's like 50-50, you know, a balance. It is very good in a lot of situations. It can save your life, seriously, or your children's life, seriously, it can save your life. But a lot of situations, on the other hand, look like this. It's a hot mess. So if you're going, like I said, if you're scared of somebody and you feel like you're being harassed or abused, or you're really scared, you go and file a temporary restraining order. What that's gonna do is gonna to protect you. It's not gonna put the other person in prison if you guys have to follow the order, right? And not get together after, like Johnny and Amber did. You file a temporary restraining order, temporary, and then they give you a court hearing date, and a time. You go there. If you fail to show up, then the judge is like, well, then it wasn't so bad. You get dismissed. If you show up and the other person shows up, then they give it to you. Usually they give it to you. Woman or not, when you go with a story that is not fake, it's a story that did happen, the judges know how to look through the bullshit. Judges don't care if you are Britney Spears, Courtney Love, Marilyn Manson. They're just gonna see. They are usually not corrupted. Probably Britney is not a good example because they are very corrupted in her case, but they're usually not. Judges don't get paid to go on one side. They don't. Lawyers do, but judges don't. So you get the problem. You file a restraining order, right, against your ex-boyfriend. Let's say, whatever. Let's just put it all this in this women thing. And what they do is they serve your ex-boyfriend. He gonna say, I didn't do nothing to her. Okay, cool. It doesn't matter. He's gonna get a restraining order, and you guys have to not be texting or talking or nothing for 3 years, right? I got one of those. And it's great because you're not sending anybody to jail, to prison. You're not ruining them. Nobody needs to know. No. And you're protecting yourself. If you're lying, this person didn't do nothing to you, okay, whatever. But usually it's not a lie, okay? And if the person, it's not personal slander, you're not messing with their work, you're not canceling anybody, you're not messing with the family members. It's just kind of low-key. It's a low-key way to say, okay, well, you stay over there, I stay over here, and you cannot hurt me. So, advice, please do that. Don't just go to court and start yapping and making shit up, especially on Instagram. Don't go to the Instagram or the Twitter court. Just don't do that. Go to court and get a restraining order against the person who is stalking you or harassing you. Because it happens. I'm not saying men don't do this. Men do this disgusting shit all the time. But if you do that, then whatever you do after is going to be more believable. The problem with these women is they never file anything as a restraining order against him first. Actually, Morgan could have done that, but she didn't do that. So if they did that when this was happening in 2010, 2011, I would be more inclined to believe. But they didn't. So obviously you were not so petrified. Otherwise you would have requested a restraining order, and a judge would just give it to you. You don't even have to show a bruise. The judge will believe you. Period. We can talk about if that's a good thing or not. I think it's a good thing to believe some things at face value. The judge, we know because of Amber and Johnny, the judge didn't go and touch her face to see if that was a real bruise, right? So that's what's proving my point, that you get a restraining order, you go home. You don't have to hear about this person anymore. This person, if they get close to you, they will go to prison. So hopefully they're not gonna bother you anymore. And that's what you do before you do any of this circus. So just do that. If you're gonna do anything, do that. Don't go on Instagram, don't go on Twitter, don't post on Facebook, don't tell all your girlfriends about it because you might end up dead. So just go and just get a restraining order, which is, I think, is the low key to do something to protect yourself without ruining the other person's life, without canceling that person, without ruining, they're not going to get fired, nothing, because nobody needs to know. I think restraining orders are great in cases like this because they can fix a lot of things without fucking up the person's future and the person's, then this is going to be on him for the rest of his life, and if they get sued by perjury, it's going to be on her for the rest of her life. So it could have easily been avoided, first of all, by not lying, And second of all, if she was so afraid of him, she would have, done what I just said, get a restraining order instead back in 2010. So then maybe now she will have some leverage, but she doesn't, because nobody filed anything back then. So too sad, too bad, too sad, as my daughter will say. Too bad, too sad. No, for real, it's like that is like the one thing that is missing here. There's no filing from before, so it's really hard. Like, loving Manson or not, it's really hard for a lot of us to believe it, because there's nothing until 2021, very conveniently. So I keep going, okay? So he's pretty much saying that these girls are banking on his persona, okay? Plaintiff has attempted to improperly manipulate the legal system. But this is important, okay? Well, the whole thing is important, but legal system by filing these clearly time-bearer claims in hope of spreading lies about Warner under the protection of the litigation privilege, which is what I was telling you. We can all go and file things. That is a privilege. That's freedom, And I already told you what I think about that. Anyway, this motion focuses on plaintiff first and second causes of action, which falsely allege sexual assault and sexual battery, sexual crimes under California state law. More numbers. Plaintiff claims arise from conduct that is alleged to have occurred the latest in 2011. Gosh, she's dumb. She could have said like 2015 or something. But anyway, in 2011, plaintiff first and second cause of action are both subjects to 2 years of statute of limitations, which expired in 2013. So Esme, you didn't. You couldn't put it in. You couldn't put it in on time, Esme. So 2011, she couldn't say that she was abused in 2013 or 14 or 15 because he was already with Lindsay, so it wouldn't make any sense. So not only she lied big time, but also she messed up with the dates, because their 2011 to 2013 makes a big difference in court timelines. It does. You'd be surprised, a lot of things make so much of a difference with like 6 months apart, things that happened 6 months ago, and then if you have some type of statute of limitation right there, you're like, oh shoot, oh well, I did this 6 months ago, well. So it's pretty much what's happening. I don't think he did anything. I think he's innocent, but she messed it up. Expired in 2013. So yeah, too late, because she thought she outed him out in 2021. She wasn't even doing it in 2016, 17, 18, 20. She went there in 2021 on Instagram saying his name. So it expired. Too late to the party, Esme. So that's the most important part right there. The conspiracy thing, and the fact that they're saying over and over that this is too late. Too late to file this, period. Statute of limitations, like the one applicable here, serves a fundamental role in our legal system, and is designed to promote justice by preventing surprises through the revival of claims that have been allowed to slumber until evidence has been lost, memories have faded, and witnesses have disappeared. This guy's a genius. I love the way he puts it. Yeah, the statute of limitations is a great tool for men and women, but let's be honest, usually women use it more. Numbers, okay. But I love the way he's saying it, because yeah, if it's misused, it's supposed to be used for this. Some people might disappear, some people die, some people don't remember things, some people got in an accident. It's supposed to be used for that, in case of all that happening. But it's not. It's taken advantage of. So I never said this. I never said that it's actually a bad thing, if it's used correctly and for good, for the greater good, of justice. Because that does happen. People forget things. People get traumatized, and people forget things. People pass away. Okay, people move away. A lot of things can happen. So it's good to have a few years. But from 2011 to 2021, nope. No, it's not happening. So relevant allegations. Item 2. There's not too many items, so this is not going to be too long. Because it's a dismissal. So he doesn't have to make anything up like the other filing that I was here for reading it for 4 hours and a half. Plaintiff alleged that she met Warner in 2005. Plaintiff alleges that she began a consensual sexual relationship with him in 2009. That is really sus because he was with Evan. 2009. They never say the months. I hate that. Like, in 2011, plaintiff alleges Warner had sex with her without her consent. A good way to not say the R word right there, without her consent. Plaintiff also says that Warner committed sexual battery against her on multiple occasions through the time in Los Angeles from 2010 to 2011. No months, no nothing. All without the consent of plaintiff. A claim should be dismissed. This is what we're asking for. A claim should be dismissed at time bear under rule, statute of limitations. Apparently the face of a compliant comes too late because it expired in 2013 for her in this case. Argument. The complaint establishes on its face the plaintiff's state law's claim for sexual assault and sexual battery are time bearer. Again, too late, right? As a result, Warner respectfully requests he's not even trying to, which probably I would, but he's not even trying to sue her for perjury or nothing, even after she went on TV everywhere and she showed fake pictures and she talked about him putting electricity on her, cutting her. He's not even trying to take her to court for perjury. He is respectfully requesting from the court that the claims be dismissed. Dismissing time bearer claims with prejudice when plaintiff failed to provide evidence sufficient to tell the statute of limitations. So what I'm trying to say is, like, if she actually worked harder on her evidence, they will make a blind eye and actually look at it. Statute of limitations or not. That's what that means. But she hasn't gave them anything. She hasn't gave us anything besides a picture of her back, obviously. So Warner is asking respectfully for the court to dismiss this, okay? Unless there's proof enough to not look at the statute of limitations, but there isn't. So we're gonna go for the 2013 thing. It's a big difference. Those 2 years make a gigantic difference, obviously, when you're trying to lie about somebody. Plaintiff's sexual battery and assault claims are barred by the 2-year statute of limitations. Okay, I already got that. Sexual assault and sexual battery in California state law. Oh my God, these people love to say California state law. We know. Sorry, I know I can pause it, but I'm just thinking. I'm drinking my coffee at the same time. It's decaf, so I don't just go completely crazy. For example, in a case of injury, like let's say she had a seizure, let's say she is brain damaged because of he beat it up, allegedly. And something like that, they might just give a blind eye and take her case anyway and say fuck it to the statute of limitations. But it has to be something, there has to be something physical, something tangible for them to do that. Otherwise they're going to go for the statute of limitations. That's how the law works. And that's why I like going to court and I like dealing with judges, because trust me, these people make $500,000 like every 2 months because they have a really hard job, you know. It is they just go for what's fair. They don't know you. They don't know who you. Esme Bianco, what? Who are you? And Melanie said, who are you? Like, seriously, you can have the best lawyer and still go to prison. And you can have the best lawyer for things that you did and don't go to prison. Like many famous cases, like, you know, OJ and stuff. People like that. Every time I read about a case, well, I should just have a whole different channel for true crime and all the cases that I'm obsessed with. But one of the big cases I'm obsessed with back in the day was a case of Casey Anthony, which was a woman who murdered her toddler, put her in the back of her car. She had the best lawyer that a person can get, and she never got to be in prison. She was declared innocent. So you can actually be a baby killer, okay? And a good lawyer can get you out. But judges are not really there to get you out. Judges are there to look at the evidence, and they can spot a liar miles away. And if it's not, like the judge in the UK that did the Johnny and Amber case, I don't know how the UK works, but I have a feeling that that judge in particular was super corrupt. But usually judges are not. More than often they're not. So judge is reading this and going like, all right, does she have brain trauma from this? Does she have a disease on her skin that it didn't go away because of this? That she went to the doctor and she had tears on her insides and things on her face and all that because of this? If there's any evidence of her going to the doctor ever? No, there isn't. Otherwise, we'll see it here. I don't think that she can even prove that she went to a psychiatrist. I don't even think that she can prove that she has post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety and panic attacks. I don't think she can prove that. She can say that, which I hate that. I hate that everybody's just giving the little cheap ass diagnosis to each other. Anyway, she cannot prove any of that. So if she had a significant, like a brain injury or something like that, and she can say, well, this is from him, they might look into it more, but she doesn't. So yeah, it's all ideas. Feelings, and I would say feelings are not facts, okay? Feelings are not a strategy. Feelings are not reality. They're just feelings. You can go and say, I feel this guy hurt my feelings. I feel that what he did on Tuesday was abuse. I feel, but that's unfortunate. Like, that's not what they're gonna go for. You have to get more evidence than just your own feelings and your own Instagram picture of your back, which we wouldn't even know if it's your back, which I'm 99.9% sure that it's not her back. And if it's her back from a movie, after, like some behind the scenes type of story. And then she took a picture of her back when it was a fake beating or something, or the picture was taken after one of her bondage jobs. Who knows? So if you don't have, so what I'm trying to say, so people don't get confused, they actually can say fuck it and not follow the statute of limitations if you actually show evidence, and it has to be physical and it has to be like a doctor notice, okay? Seriously. But he doesn't have any of that. So they're going to go for the 2011-2013. So it expired in 2013 because what happened to her was in 2011. Yeah, she could have actually stretched the years probably and would probably have a case, but she didn't because she couldn't. She couldn't, because in 2013 he was already just doing his thing. He was not with any of these women anymore. So obviously they couldn't lie after 2011, because since when he was with Lindsay, pretty much. I mean, I don't, none of my business how many breaks they have, but I think that they were serious 2011 and now on, and now they're married. So I don't think that Evan or Esme could have said he raped, he raped me, he committed sexual crimes against me in 2013, 2014, just to get on the statute of limitation limit. They couldn't, because Manson wasn't even with them anymore. So that would look even worse. I think she tried. It's a good, a shot. Good shot, Esme, but you didn't get it. So this is why I love this filing, because it's so to the point and it's so short and it's awesome. Because that is it, okay? So, plaintiff alleges that she was sexually assaulted and battered without her consent in 2011. Because the alleged conduct occurred without plaintiff consent, plaintiff necessarily, as a matter of law, suffered, quote unquote, suffered, this guy's awesome, an actual and appreciated injury at the time of the alleged conduct in 2011, just like the plaintiff in blah, 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 blah. They were saying if she did, but she didn't, right? Therefore, plaintiff claims occurred in 2011, and the 2-year statute of limitations commenced in 2011 to 2013. Because the statute of limitations expired in 2013, and plaintiff did not file her claims until 2021. See what I mean? If she got like a restraining order on him or something like that in 2011, 2012, this would be taken more serious, but she didn't. Not until 2021, her sexual assault and battery claims are not actionable and should be dismissed. Boom, straight, sweet, short and sweet. I love this attorney's way. No bullshit. Effectively in January 2019, they made a new section of sexual abuse, the statute of limitations. Okay, well, yeah. Abuse to the date of 10 years from the last act, this is the Phoenix Act, okay? But they did that in 2019, so she's still in trouble. She still didn't make the cut. No pun intended there. That was not funny. I'm like pissed, but at the same time, I'm glad. I'm glad I like the system. I'm always been a fan of the system. I don't like dealing with people. I like dealing with judges and good lawyers, because you have the truth on your side, and you're sure of what the hell you're doing. You are going to win. It's period. Judges don't like bullshit. If they see that you're lying, or your body language is weird, or you interrupt them and you say stuff that you shouldn't be saying or whatever, and you seem suspicious to them, you're done. It doesn't matter who you are, celebrity or not. So I'd rather just deal with the court system than deal with just going on Instagram or just going to the police and filing a report that I don't think that she ever did. And yes, Esme should have done a restraining order in 2011, and then maybe they will give it a chance. The fact that she just sit on it for 10 years, is what pretty much, with fancy words, his attorney is saying, when we've all been saying on this community, you sit on it for 10 years. And then they're gonna just I don't think they're gonna appeal. I think this is gonna be dismissed like now in September. I have a feeling that it's going to be dismissed in September. This was filed 2 weeks ago to be dismissed soon. So I think this guy is on it, and he's not gonna let her get away with it. By this guy, I mean Howard King, the attorney. It is pretty much, even if Manson is not talking, we can hear his words, cynically, conspiracy. Those are things that his attorney and Manson probably been talking about since like the beginning. And I love the fact that he's been so quiet. And all he did was appear the other day with Kanye West on the listening party, and everybody freaked out. And the fact that we haven't even heard his voice in an interview, nothing, defending himself, I think it's more powerful. I think it's better. They just go out and just loud and clear say, I'm innocent, and then you're gonna look sus. So it's super smart. He's doing the same thing that he did after Columbine. Waited 6 months and then reappeared with stronger than ever. A Columbine was more strange because he couldn't really prove, when it comes to that type of witch hunt from society, not from a woman that got abused by you. It's just by the United States of America. Everybody was against him. Not all the states, but half of them at least. It's really hard to just prove that you are not that person they think you are. But with time, he proved that he wasn't. And with time, those bunch of hypocrites that were there with their signs saying Manson is going to go to hell and all that, they're being proved to be child molesters, criminals, and all that. So all those people that were there, with their signs and telling people like me that I was going to go burn, I was going to be burned in hell because I went to a few concerts and whatever. Where are those people now? What are they doing? So in that case, he couldn't just really go to court and say, hey, I didn't do Columbine. Because he wasn't formally charged on anything. It was just the idea, which in a way is even worse because you cannot even prove anything. But since then, this is just, it was going to happen again. And if he's not careful, this is going to keep happening to him or to other people like Johnny Depp, because they're way too trusting. They invite people over to their house. They give their keys to people from their cars that they're not even driving. Here's my car. Here's my apartment. way too trusting, they're way too nice. And hopefully this is like a lesson. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love Mason, but I only have one thing to say about the way this went down. Is mostly because these women are a bunch of witches, but also he trusts them so much, and he was so open, and gave them jobs and stay over, free rent, free drugs, free connections, and maybe like he can take some responsibility. Just now that he's a married man, be like, oh shoot, like I was way too trusting. I was not thinking with my head. I was just, think it's similar than Johnny. Way too trusting, way too nice, way too generous. Here's this, here's that. And then everybody backstab you, even your own personal assistant, Ashley Walters. So, lesson to be learned, to keep all these weirdos away. All these weirdos. Every time you get a Facebook message or whatever from somebody saying, I want to collaborate, what about no? Just keep them just away on the other side of the fence. I think by now this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen again. But I have a feeling, and I don't know why, that somebody's going to come out, either against him or against a new guy, anytime. Because these things never come on just one. They usually just come in a chunk of BS. And even if he gets to dismiss this, because he's going to dismiss her, I feel like somebody else might just be about to get canceled any minute. I don't know why I have that feeling. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Maybe I've been talking about this shit for 5 months and it's getting to my head to the point that I'm thinking now that I'm becoming jaded and cynical and thinking I don't want to think that all women lie. But for what we know about how the world is on the celebrity violence against women thing, the Me Too movement, the I'm Not Okay movement and all that, it seems like 2 of them were right and the rest are not. So a lot of cool things come with it. Harvey Weinstein, prison. Yes, good. I'm so glad that happened. But besides that, a snowball effect into this that we have now. So I'm still going to believe women. I'm still going to do my research. But I think that if you want to do something on somebody in the future, just go get a restraining order. Go tell your social worker. Go tell a hospital. Go tell your psychiatrist. Say something. Because then you just cannot 10 years after or 5 years after say, oh, this happened to me. Just say something. Say something before. Not broadcast it and gossip and then you can get hurt or die from doing that. No broadcasting, no post it on your Twitter or your Instagram. Go to your authorities, get a restraining order. Somebody's bothering you. That's it. Somebody's texting you 100 times a day. Like Ashley Morgan was saying, the man was texting her 300 times, I don't know how many times. Get a restraining order so he won't do that no more. That's one way to do it, and the best way that you can do it. Means you're not really canceling anybody, you're not ruining their life. It's just a little restraining order if you want them to leave you alone. Like, these women should have done that, but they didn't. Big mistake. Alright, so my head is killing me, so I'm just gonna put my mess down and pray to Jesus. Well, not to Jesus or to whatever. Okay, that's a mess. Just headaches from that, having my hair in a bun all morning doing laundry. Alright, so sorry, so vain. I'm so vain. Also, it's 100 degrees today, just like it's been for the last 2 weeks. So I'm popping here to do this, but it's hot, so I'm trying to do my best. I am bringing the documents. I am not sitting here to